Hey there, everybody, Mr. Larson here. I'm going to help you go through the Homeostasis Exercise Lab and how it all works out. So, just like um, just like anything else, our bodies go through homeostasis even without us even thinking about it. So, we're actually going to see and feel how homeostasis happens within our bodies while we exercise. Before we get started, we have to make a couple decisions. So, each student is basically going to figure out what they're going to or plan their own experiment here. So you're going to decide what you are going to measure. So you can either choose your heart rate or your breathing rate. And then you're also going to choose what exercise you will be performing. Don't worry, it's not going to be a 15-minute long exercise. It's only going to be a minute. So try to think of an exercise that you'll be able to do for a minute. Decide whatever you want to do. If you click on this link, it'll take you to this website here. So it provides 50 different exercises that you can do. Choose from any of these 50, whatever you want to do. Choose one that you think you can do for a minute, and then type it into the blank space below here. You also want to decide what you're going to measure. So your heart rate is how many beats per minute your heart is going through. If you remember back in the body systems digital lesson, there is a video that helps you understand how you can find your heart rate. Basically, it's just two fingers towards the upper part of your neck. And if you sort of let it sit there, you can eventually feel a slight beating, a slight pressure against your finger. Or your breathing rate, which is basically just how many breaths you are taking in and out. So you can choose from either your heart rate or your breathing rate. And once you decide, just bold, highlight, italicize, whatever you want to do, just to make sure that you know and I know what you are measuring. Once you make those two decisions, what you're measuring and then what exercise you are doing, you're going to move down to the research question. So your research question is basically just another fill in the blank. So if you perform the blank exercise, so whatever exercise you are doing, for 1 minute, how will your heart rate or your breathing rate change compared to your resting rate? So that is your research question. And your hypothesis is, what do you think is going to happen with this research question? Do you think your heart rate will increase? Do you think your breathing rate will decrease? Do you think, basically, what do you think is going to happen throughout this experiment? Now we're going to look at our dependent and independent variable. So our dependent variable is basically what we are changing, what we are doing for our experiment. So in our experiment, we are doing a certain exercise. So your exercise will be your dependent variable, whereas your independent variable is your heart rate or your breathing rate. So basically, independent variable is what you are measuring. Dependent variable is what you are changing. So independent variable is what you're measuring. Are you measuring your heart rate or breathing rate? Dependent variable is what exercise you're performing. So these are the materials you're going to need. You just need a timer, which is on your phone, or if you have a stopwatch, whatever you want to do. Your body, because you're going to be doing some exercises. And of course, a lab report, which is this thing that is provided for you. So before you get started, just read through the procedure. You always want to read through a procedure before you perform it so you know what you're expected to do. So read through the procedure really quick. And then go ahead and feel free to get started. So you're going to do 3 trials for each test. So you're going to get 3 different numbers for your resting rate, 3 different numbers for your exercise rate, and so on. You're going to need a graph, so you can either handwrite it or use Google Sheets, whichever one you're familiar with. If you need help, feel free to contact me. I can help guide you with how to create a graph through Google Sheets or to hand draw it. After you do your graph, I want you to answer these 5 discussion questions. So every single time you do an experiment, you always want to reflect on your results. So basically, these discussion questions help guide you through what your results are and how it is impacted by homeostasis and things like that. So I hope this helps out. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and I will always be here to help you guys out. See you soon.